Located in northern Thailand, Ban ViNai is home to the largest group of Hmong refugees in the world. Over 57,000 Hmong live here in relative peace after fleeing their homeland of Laos. However, there are currently no refugee camps like Ban ViNai in Laos. So how did they all get here? That's what we're talking about today. This is a story of survival, struggle, hardship, hope, and humanity. Let's start with a little background. First, let's define who the Hmong people are. The term Hmong refers to several related ethnic groups speaking Hmong Tao or Hmong Tong. Languages collectively known as Hmong, which belongs to the Hmong Mien group of peoples. 23 different ethnic subgroups exist within this language group, and they're spread throughout 6 countries. Most Hmong people live in China, followed by Laos, Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, and the United States. We'll be focusing on the Hmong people from Laos today. Now let's go back in history. The Hmong people were originally from South China and migrated into the mountainous regions of northern Laos and other Southeast Asian countries centuries ago. They traditionally follow a religion combining elements of folk religion, shamanism, animism, and Christianity. Their culture places strong emphasis on community, family, respect for elders, and living in harmony with nature. The Hmong are known for their distinctive clothing, including intricately designed silver jewelry. For the women, this traditional dress consists of a long black or indigo skirt, a white or striped blouse, and an apron-like cloth called a fop. A special head covering is also worn by married women. Men typically wear a loincloth, or a rectangular piece of cloth wrapped around the waist along with a jacket. And of course, don't forget those silver ornaments. These garments reflect not only cultural pride, but also serve as symbols of one's social status and identity. The Hmong have a rich oral tradition with stories, myths, and legends passed down through generations. Many Hmong also practice agriculture, raising crops such as rice, corn, and sugarcane. Historically, they lived a relatively secluded life in the mountains, preserving their unique traditions and customs. But as we know, this way of life has been threatened over time. So why did the Hmong flee their homeland? It began in the late 1960s, when the US and its allies started the secret war in Laos. This was a CIA operation aimed at preventing the spread of communism in Southeast Asia during the Vietnam War. Although never officially declared, this covert war involved Hmong tribesmen who provided crucial assistance to American forces. Hmong soldiers and scouts aided the US military by gathering intelligence, conducting sabotage missions, and providing logistical support. They faced formidable challenges, including harsh terrain, limited resources, and fierce opposition from communist forces. In the face of these obstacles, the Hmong displayed remarkable courage, resilience, and determination. However, as the war turned against the US and its allies, the Hmong found themselves increasingly vulnerable. As the North Vietnamese and Pathet Lao gained momentum, the Hmong communities suffered greatly. When the US withdrew from Vietnam in 1973 and the North Vietnamese took control, many Hmong feared for their future. The new regime viewed the Hmong as collaborators of the Americans and targeted them for persecution. Realizing the gravity of the situation, many Hmong leaders and community members made the difficult decision to flee their homeland. Let's fast forward to 1975, when the Pathet Lao, a communist guerrilla group led by Prince Suphanovong, seized power and established the Lao People's Democratic Republic. This marked a significant turning point for the Hmong people. The Pathet Lao, with support from neighboring communist states like Vietnam and China, initiated policies that aimed to suppress ethnic minorities, including the Hmong. The new regime sought to assimilate the Hmong into Lao society, discouraging traditional customs and beliefs. Furthermore, the government implemented collectivization of agriculture, which disrupted the MLX's traditional way of life and caused widespread famine. The forced relocation of Hmong villagers into labor camps resulted in severe human rights abuses. Within these camps, conditions were dire. Detainees endured physical abuse, torture, and extrajudicial killings. Women and girls were particularly vulnerable, often facing sexual violence and exploitation. Faced with such persecution, the Hmong people had no choice but to flee their homes in Laos and seek refuge in neighboring countries. Many of them didn't know where they were going or what lay ahead, just knew they had to get away from danger. Their journey was long and difficult. They trekked through dense jungle, often without food or water, and they had to hide from both the communists in Laos and the Thai army, who didn't want them to enter Thailand. But eventually, after weeks or even months on the road, they reached the Thai border and crossed into safety. By the early 1980s, more than 40,000 Hmong refugees had arrived in Thailand. Most of them women, children, and the elderly. So many refugees were arriving, the Thai government couldn't resettle them into Thai society. However, as the influx of refugees continued, the Thai authorities struggled to accommodate and assist them. Living in makeshift camps along the border, the Hmong faced precarious conditions, including inadequate shelter, food, and medical care. The uncertain legal status of the refugees made it challenging to provide them with long-term solutions and services. In response to the growing refugee crisis, international organizations and humanitarian agencies stepped in to provide aid and support. Groups like the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, and the International Rescue Committee, IRC, worked tirelessly to deliver essential supplies and services to the Hmong refugees. Despite these efforts, the situation remained dire, and it became evident that a more comprehensive approach was needed. The Thai government, in collaboration with the UNHCR, established 9 refugee camps along the western border with Laos. The camps were intended to be temporary holding facilities until the international community could find durable solutions for the refugees. But the Hmong didn't want to resettle in Laos, and most weren't accepted by neighboring countries. As a result, the Hmong people found themselves trapped in a cycle of limbo, unable to return home due to safety concerns, and without a clear path to permanent resettlement. It was during this time that Ban ViNai opened its gates to the Hmong people. Established in 1989, it's located near the Thai-Lao border, close to the Mekong River. Initially, it was intended to accommodate up to 4,000 refugees. However, the camp quickly became overcrowded, mirroring the plight of the Hmong. At its peak, Ban ViNai housed over 67,000 refugees, primarily Hmong. The camp sprawled across 25 square kilometers and was divided into 9 sections, each with its own distinct character and community. Within the camp's boundaries, rows upon rows of bamboo huts stood as shelters for the displaced families. Each hut, though simple in construction, represented a story of resilience and survival. Inside these huts, families created cozy spaces for their loved ones, adorning the walls with colorful fabrics and personal belongings. Despite the cramped conditions, a sense of community thrived. Neighbors shared meals, stories, and laughter, drawing strength from one another. Children played amidst the huts, their laughter echoing through the camp, providing a momentary respite from the harsh realities of their situation. While life in the camp was far from ideal, the Hmong people found ways to preserve their cultural heritage. Community leaders organized traditional dances and ceremonies, keeping their customs and traditions alive. Elders shared stories and wisdom, ensuring that younger generations remained connected to their roots. Education was prioritized, with community members establishing makeshift schools. Under the shade of trees, children gathered to learn their native Hmong language, as well as basic literacy and numeracy skills. The camp also had a clinic staffed by medical professionals who provided essential healthcare services. Doctors, nurses, and volunteers worked tirelessly to address the health needs of the camp's residents, treating ailments, injuries, and providing immunizations. The clinic became a beacon of hope and healing, offering solace and care to those in desperate need. Despite the hardships they faced, hope flickered within the hearts of the Hmong people. They yearned for a better future, a chance to rebuild their lives in a land that offered them safety and opportunity. Despite all the hardships, the Hmong people were determined to make a new life for themselves in Thailand. They rebuilt their lives in the camps and started working towards a better future. And then in the 1990s, things started to look up. The Thai government began to resettle Hmong refugees in cities around Thailand, and many families were able to start businesses and buy homes. Others were resettled in the United States, Canada, Germany, France, and Australia. And today, Ban ViNai is home to around 2,000 Hmong people who weren't able to leave. The conditions in the camp have improved a lot since the 1980s, but it's still a far cry from what we would consider a comfortable living situation here in the West. Electricity came to the camp in the late 1990s, but it's only available for a few hours each evening. There is no running water or sanitation system, and most of the houses are made of wood and bamboo. The Hmong people are proud, strong, and resilient, but they've been through a lot of suffering. After speaking with the locals and learning more about their history, I can't help but feel a sense of admiration for their strength and determination. Their story is a reminder of the importance of fighting for freedom and justice, no matter how difficult the odds may seem. It's also a reminder of the importance of helping those who are less fortunate. For the Hmong people, their journey to Ban ViNai was one of desperation. They were forced to flee their homes and leave everything behind in order to escape danger. Many of them had never heard of Thailand or the Thai people before they arrived in the camps, yet the Thai people welcomed them in and provided them with food, shelter, and medical care. Since the end of the Vietnam War, millions of people around the world have been forced to flee their homes due to conflict, persecution, or natural disasters. These refugees often face unimaginable hardships, but they're also incredibly resilient and adaptable. Many refugees are able to rebuild their lives and contribute to their new communities in amazing ways. But refugees aren't just statistics or objects of pity. They're human beings with hopes, dreams, and aspirations, just like the rest of us. When we learn more about the Hmong people and their history, we can gain a deeper understanding of the challenges they face and the contributions they make to our world. We can also appreciate the importance of standing up for what's right, no matter how difficult it may be. Now, let me tell you about something really cool. If you're interested in supporting the Hmong people or learning more about their culture and history, you might want to check out the Hmong American Partnership website. They're a great organization that helps Hmong refugees in Thailand and the United States. They provide education, healthcare, and economic opportunities to Hmong refugees and help them preserve their unique culture and traditions. Another option is to support the Refugee Support Group. They're another great organization that provides essential items to refugees in Thailand. Things like food, clothing, shelter, and medical care. Alright, now let's get back to the video. As I mentioned earlier, electricity doesn't come to Ban ViNai until late 1990s. For the longest time, the only light source for the people of Ban ViNai was fire. And for many years, they lit their fires with flint and steel. This is one of the oldest known methods of creating fire, dating back thousands of years. It involves using a piece of flint or steel to strike sparks from a piece of pyrite. The sparks will land on a pile of tinder, and if everything is done correctly, the tinder will catch on fire and the fire will spread. However, not everyone is cut out for the task. It takes a certain amount of finesse and practice to master the technique. Thankfully, one of the Hmong ladies at the village was willing to show me how it's done. After just a few attempts, I was successfully lighting fires with flint and steel. And it felt pretty cool to know that I was using the same technique that humans had been using for thousands of years. But I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit scary too. I mean, when you're dealing with fire and sparks flying everywhere, there's always a chance that things could go wrong. But thankfully I had a great teacher, and I was able to learn the technique safely. It's definitely not an easy task, but it's definitely worth giving a try. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to start a fire with nothing but a flint and steel, you'll be glad you learned how. Now, I'm not sure if the Hmong people of Ban ViNai still use this technique to start fires, but it's definitely a skill that they used in the past. And it's a fun and challenging activity that anyone can try. Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed learning more about the Hmong people of Ban ViNai. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Also, do not forget to check out the links below to learn how you can help the Hmong people if you so choose. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in another video soon.